is Agostina Pechi, and I'm originally from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Sure. I'm a managing director at Goldman Sachs. I supervise the team that covers Latin American clients, sovereigns, corporates, and financial institutions. So we help our clients get access to financing and also invest their liquidity.
And did you always like math and economics?
Yes, I really liked that, but I lacked the background. Neither of my parents worked in finance. My mother actually was studied art history, and my dad used to race cars. So coming from a middle-class family with no background whatsoever about finance, it was really challenging, but also an adventure to really learn what finance was about and whether I liked it or not, right?
Nice. And you speak wonderful English. How was it learning English?
Really challenging at the beginning. My father, obviously Argentine, but my mom was Italian. So at home we spoke Spanish and Italian. We were encouraged to learn English, but certainly it was my third language. So, on the one hand, people said, knowing other languages helps you learn a third one. But certainly it's more challenging to learn anything as an adult than it is to learn as a kid. So it was challenging, but I think, something that once you are immersed in the culture and surrounded by people speaking that language, you're forced to really use it. And I think with time, you really can feel more confident, expressing yourself for sure.
Wonderful. And can you tell me some of what you consider to be personal or professional achievements?
So at a professional level, certainly, very excited about having been able to finance. I was mentioning infrastructure before, but also imagine like social housing, like helping people in Latin America purchase their first homes. Focus on gender financing women entrepreneurs that want to start their business. And that has been at a professional level extremely rewarding because I grew up in Latin America, and now being able to give back to my community as well as to my region, it's something that at a professional level is very rewarding. I obviously would be happy to do other things in finance, but having been able to focus on that market has been really special. At a personal level, I'm really lucky to have a family that has been very helpful. So I feel, really proud of having, a daughter. I've been able to do my job, but also being able to raise a family. I have a supporting husband, he's been there for me through so many things. So at a personal level, really happy that I won't use the word balance because I don't know how to be balanced, but certainly I'm really happy to be able to spend some time with my family, as well as really focus on what I like to do at a professional level.
Fantastic. And it must be wonderful for your daughter to see a woman in such a interesting job.
I hope so. I think that we need more role models in different industries to not only imagine that we can do it, but see, be able to see someone that actually was able to get there. And so I hope my daughter appreciates that path. And also, if she wants, she can really take a similar career path or anything else she wants to do, but knowing that you can really have a profession and at the same time, have a family.
Fantastic. Oh, she's lucky. We agree it's nice to have role models, definitely. Can you tell me what you think is the most difficult thing that you had to overcome as an immigrant?
Yeah, I think the most difficult thing was to manage my own anxiety around being in a different environment surrounded by men. In my industry, it's very men driven, and breathe and always remind myself that I could do it. It was really hard because at all times I was stressed about visa issues at the beginning, and when I was going to be able to go back home, and how to help the family that was far away from me. So it's really challenging, even when you're doing a very rewarding job, to wake up every morning with the same energy and the same confidence that you can do it. And so I always thought, one day at a time, and my family always reminding me that you can always come back to Argentina. So very challenging at the beginning, no?
What do you do when you get homesick? Do you have something like, for example, when I'm homesick, I like to watch British dramas and eat British food. Mhm.
I love British dramas for sure. But when I'm homesick, I love to dance the tango. I used to dance when I was in Argentina. And believe it or not, there are tons of milongas. That's the place we call where you go dance tango in New York. So I get to meet new people and, dance a little bit my home music. And I think that, helps me feel happy and take a break from what I do every day and come back home with a smile, really like energized.
Nice. I didn't know there were so many opportunities to dance tango. Once we're open again, that's a thing to learn. Um, Lots of our students are a little bit nervous. They're in a new country. It may seem like everything's a little bit impossible for them. Do you have any words of advice for people who are maybe starting out in education or their careers?
Yeah, I would say, based on my experience, that it's important not to confuse competence with confidence. So, I'm sure, many of your students have different skill sets. They're good at things, they're passionate about things, but sometimes, especially women, we tend to undermine ourselves, to question ourselves. I read recently an article that says that women only apply to jobs when they feel they have 100% of the requirements, while men apply when they have like around 60%. So I would say, be confident that you can do it. It may take time. You may be rejected multiple times. I had to go through multiple interviews before getting a job, but it's worth it. And if you are yourself, if you remain truthful to your values, if you're open to opportunities, I think that this is a wonderful country to achieve great results, great things. And so I just really want to remind you that life is a marathon, not a sprint. So things may be seen 1 year or 1 month or one day as very dark around us. And then, the next day we find an option, a solution, an alternative, and think it's bright again. So, be resilient. And I think that we can do it. And, I hope all of you are able to, achieve your dreams.
That's wonderful advice. Thank you. I have two more questions for you. One's a slightly longer, and the final one will be quite short. What is the best thing about being an immigrant in New York?
New York is like a mosaic of people where I think we're all immigrants. I mean, it took me a long time to meet a true New Yorker, someone that was born in the city. And, that's amazing about the city because you get to know people from everywhere. I was on my own when I came here with no family, and I met other Argentines and other people from Latin America. I also met Italians that remind me a little bit of my mom's culture. So it's a city where, in a way, we're kind of all immigrants. There's a huge rotation of people and a lot of culture and opportunities to visit museums and learn things for free. And so I would say I couldn't have asked for a better city to develop in finance and to do what I like to do. And with time, it felt like home. So, you know, I think that it's a great option. And because of that diversity, it doesn't take long, for you to feel, welcome.
Excellent. Yeah, I agree with you. It's a wonderful city. My final question for you is when our students see this, there's going to be something very, very special for them because they're going to see a female vice president and she's going to be a woman of color as well. So can you tell us your reaction to, as a woman, to seeing somebody take on this role?
I think it's so important. I think we should embrace these opportunities. There's clearly a need to discuss and be aware how important diversity, how important it's diversity in all aspects of life, in schools, in companies. We're surrounded by people of color, and I think that we should embrace that opportunity to really work with them and learn from each other, especially from women of color that I think have had to endure discrimination through the years. And now we can pause for a second and say, that's not okay. And we should all do something about it. And that means really welcoming them, mentoring them, opening doors from them, and helping in our own areas of expertise to partner and really arrive to a better outcome. I do believe that diversity helps us all get to better outcomes.